Alright you guys, it is finally time to show you guys my new Enduro bike. I bought myself a Transition Patrol. So I bought this frame myself, just like I did with my Rocky Mountain Maiden. So it's not a sponsored frame, but I did have some companies help me out with some of the parts for this build. So there was a 20% off sale back in April for the Patrols, so I went ahead and I took advantage of it. I bought the aluminum frame because it was a bit cheaper, and I'm perfectly fine with aluminum anyway. And ultimately, I'm pretty happy that this frame just cost me about $2,300 Canadian because of that sale price. So I'm going to be taking this frame and all my parts over to Independent Cycles in Mission, BC, where they are going to build it up for me. I highly recommend you guys check out Independent Cycles. They are doing great things in the Fraser Valley with regards to trail building and working with the mountain bike community. I have a link to their website in the description so you can learn more about them. This is Chris, and he is going to be building up my bike today. Since I'm not too good at building bikes, I'm mostly just going to be watching and filming. So as you know from my maiden build video, I told you that Marzocchi hooked me up with 2 sets of suspension, and this is the other bike that suspension's going on. So we've got the Marzocchi Z1 set up to 170 millimeters of travel, and the Bomber CR coil in the back with 160 millimeters of travel. I've got a 35 millimeter straight line stem I'll be putting on for now, though I will be putting on a 50 millimeter stem on later. I have the Chromag Fu 40 bar with a 40 millimeter rise. I generally like a bit of a higher stack height than average.
Don't cross thread your frame.
No?
Yeah, it's not the best. So I think you're good, then maybe crash it like.
And then we encountered a problem. It seems I can't have a bike build without something going wrong. Turns out we ordered the wrong chainring for these cranks. This is for a 4-bolt pattern crank while we need a cinch chainring. So I can't install it, which means we also can't install the chain either. But we can at least finish installing everything else. Now I gotta show you guys my epic wheel set I've got for this bike. Light Bicycle supplied me with some really sick carbon wheels. These are the EN38s. They're 27.5 wheels, and there was a range of hubs that I could choose from, and I decided to go with the Silent Onyx Classic hubs. These are really cool Sprague clutch system, and it means infinite engagement. I'm really excited to ride these hubs, and you'll be able to hear my bike sounds a lot more than ever before. Big thanks to Light Bicycle for hooking me up with this complete wheel set. Now for the tires, I've got the same setup as I have on my Maiden, which is a Minion DHR2 in the rear and an Assegai in the front. Both of them DH casing, max grip. I set up the front one tubeless, and the rear has a tube in it, again, same as my Maiden. Now as far as why I put a tube in the rear, I guess I'm not totally confident in having a tubeless setup in the rear because I feel like it's a little more susceptible to getting burped or something wrong happening. The tire pressures I'm going with as of right now is 26 psi in the front and 28 psi in the rear, which is the same as my DH bike right now. I've got the SRAM driver on this wheel because I wanted to try a SRAM drivetrain, even though I went with a Shimano crank set. I sort of prefer the Shimano crank system, and I also went with the 165mm cranks because I need that clearance. Pedal strikes are the worst. We are putting some Sram Rotors on this bike, even though I've got Shimano XT brakes. Going with the quad piston, of course. 200mm rotor in the front and a 180mm rotor in the rear. Setting up the internal cable routing turned out to be a nightmare. Well, at least that's what Chris said, because I was just filming. But eventually, Chris got it. I got the Fox transfer dropper post provided for me as well, which is just the same one as I got on my Diamondback hardtail. It's got 175 millimeters of travel. I put on the same brown Chrome Egg Overture seat that you had seen on my Evolve Alpha. After riding it on my Alpha last year, I gotta say it actually works pretty well even for climbing and sitting on it. It's a comfortable seat.
But none of them have it. None of them are like drilled out.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. I was like, oh no!
It's a screwed up frame.
Yeah.
Get a new frame.
They forgot that part.
Oh my goodness.
That's rad that it moves in and out so much. So when the bike compresses, right, there'll be a bit there'll be a bit of squish, so it will move easy. That's rad.
That is good. I got some straight line amp pedals. These are the same kind that are on my hardtail. I'm still not too sure what I think about these ones, honestly. I really do like their de facto pedals more. I have those on my Maiden, but I'll continue to use these for the rest of the year at least and see how I like them. So we're basically 95% done this build, just missing the chainring and the chain. We're just gonna get the right chainring ordered for me here, and then we're gonna finish the build.
Almost got there.
Yeah. Thanks for helping out.
No problem.
Yeah, man.
It was my pleasure.
Well, we've got the correct chainring now, so we can finish the build. One reason why I wanted Shimano cranks, because I don't really like the whole cinch system that the race face cranks were using that I had on my bikes last year.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So since I don't have any paying sponsors this year, just like last year as well, it means I really rely on my Patreon supporters as my main sponsors for this channel. So I just wanted to plug my Patreon page here. If you pledge $3 or more a month, you'll get extended cuts, early videos, ad-free and uncensored. If you pledge $7 a month, you'll get free stickers every 6 months. $15 a month, you get your name in my credits at the end of every video. And otherwise updates and some more behind the scenes stuff, and you guys really keep my channel rolling. Patreon is easily my favorite sponsor because it keeps me independent and I can ride and do what I want, and you guys can support me directly, and that is exactly what I love. Now that we can put on the chainring and the chain, we can set up the spacing just right for my cranks. This is probably one of the more complicated things that I don't understand enough about, how to set up these cranks properly, spacing them out. I get way too confused with so many different numbers and measurements.
That's good.
And then when it comes to setting the chain length and setting up derailleurs, again, that's something I'm not very good at. I've never had a very good time setting that stuff up myself. So I'm very thankful for the guys at Independent Cycles to do this all up for me.
Do it there. Sweet. Yourself one of these out of an old spoke.
Yeah, I heard that. That is pretty nice.
And you don't have to kill yourself trying to hold it.
Yeah.
All right, the bike is finally finished. So stoked. I think this thing looks awesome. I really love the color of this frame. I love that blue. It's a coral blue is what they call it. And yeah, I think it looks sweet with the red fork, with that fender that I put on there. I think matches nicely. For some finishing touches, we got the Sensus Swayze grips that they also provided me for free. So thank you, Sensus. Oh yeah, and before we take this thing out for a ride, I'm curious to see how much this thing weighs. 37.4 pounds. Wow. I am really surprised. I thought it was going to be lighter than that. I think this may be a bit heavier than my 2013 Norco Truax that I had. That's kind of interesting. My downhill bike, my Maiden, is 38.7 pounds. This isn't even that much lighter, so that really surprised me. I mean, again, I never tried to make this thing light at all. Nothing on it is carbon except for the rims, but they are beefier rims. And my hubs are heavier hubs though. But yeah, still, I'm surprised. All right, you guys, going for a little rip down Lorax at Bear Mountain. I have noticed that the, I think it's the brake pads kind of rattle a bunch. At least I'm pretty sure it's the brake pads. So you're gonna hear some noise, and hopefully that can go away if I get like different non-fin pads. All right. Sweet. Oh yes. Feeling really good. All right, this is feeling good. Sweet. All right, yeah, I was feeling so nice. Okay, first thing, let's look at how little travel I was using. I think we can definitely take some air out. Lower it to like, I don't know, 77 or something. I mean, I'm not riding like quite the same. I'm purposely riding a little more tame. So that would mean I'm not gonna use up as much travel, but let's do the harder route down the rock. All right. I feel a little bit like I'm trying to relearn to ride again, because I do want to be more cautious. I just don't want to crash. Hope you guys can understand why. Woo! Yo. Sick. Woo! Drifty corners here. I can tell this trail's getting a little more beat up from what it used to be. Oh yeah, that is so fun, that last bit. All right. Sick. Oh, that felt good. All right. I'm gonna ride Cherry Tomato into the finish. So yeah, it's true, my bike is a little rattly, and I'm still pretty sure that it's to do with those brake pads, those finned brake pads. I think I'm gonna have to put non-fin pads on the front, at least on the front, maybe even the rear, but the rear hub is nice silent, but you're still hearing a lot of rattling, so I don't know if you could really hear the trail that well. All right, Cherry Tomato. I'm going to go this way. So I've still got a 35 mil stem on the front here, but I did order a 50 mil stem, and yeah, I'm gonna want to put that on. Make this bike just ever so slightly longer. Oh, I think I have to go that way. Well, we're gonna finish off going out in super chill blue. Okay. Right on. Sick. Nice. Yeah, that felt good, man. Thank you guys so much for watching this video till the end. Please go check out my Patreon page if you guys want to support my work. As I said before, that is the best way to sponsor me and keep this channel rolling. Independence is definitely the way to go for me. I really need my freedom, and Patreon gives that to me. You guys can also buy stickers at my website and follow me on social media. See you guys next time.